Shalom, first and foremost, Wahallah, Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem, Rakwakadash, double honors to the head apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the Yakim out there on the highways and byways, north in this world abroad, all around the world through the spirit and power of our Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahushai. So pretty much, we're coming that much closer to the end, you know. As you can see, there's wildfires that's breaking forth out in the west coast. You know, still got this COVID-19, talking about a second wave of the COVID-19. You know, there's still race riots, racial tensions. You know, all these stuff is prophesied in the scriptures. It's only going to get worse and worse, because right now we're in those traction pains. You know, we're in the tractions of this place going out. Just like that woman, when she's ready to give birth, when she gets ready to have that baby, what happens? She starts to go through those traction pains. You know, she starts to go through those tractions and those traction pains. And those pains only intensify and gets worse and worse. And those pains don't stop until the baby is born. You know? Those pains don't stop until the baby finally is born. So that's the phase that we're in right now. With the in these times, you're starting to see the tractions. You know? So let me bring out a precept. First Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 3. And for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall none escape. See? So right now, y'all thinking that everything is peaceful. Y'all thinking that, you know, this COVID-19 is starting to settle down, you know, things are starting to go back to normal. But that's not the case, because little do y'all know is that they're already talking about the second wave, and the second wave is going to be a whole lot worse than the first one, because when the second wave hits, you know, you best believe you're going to start seeing a whole lot of shit, because Esau, you know, he still got an ace up his sleeve. He still got aces up his sleeve that y'all people don't even know about. You know? That y'all people don't even consider. But it's gonna hit you. It's gonna hit you. It's gonna catch you completely off guard, you know? When they unleash the second wave. You know? When they start to unleash the second wave, it's gonna catch a whole lot of you off guard. Completely off guard. Because y'all in darkness, y'all can't see. Y'all been tricked. Y'all been fooled into thinking that everything is just gonna continue on the way it's gonna continue. But that's not the case. Because everything is not going to continue the way it's going to continue. Everything is just going to progressively just get worse and worse. And that's what we're seeing in these last days. You know? 2020 is pretty much almost gone. And next year is going to be more horrific than this year. You know? Because that RFID chip, they're talking about that RFID chip being pushed. You know, that RFID chip is yet to come. You know? And people are going to be required to receive a chip in their right hand or in the forehead. And that's biblical prophecy, which is known as the mark of the beast. You know? So this is the book of Revelations, chapter 13. Chapter 13, verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bonds, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the number of his name, or the number of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that heareth understanding count that the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 600 score, 60. You know, which is that barcode. You know, which is that barcode. Because how is that chip going to be operated? They're going to have to scan it. You know, you're going to have to place it on the scanner, and that's how it's scanned. You know, and you're already seeing examples of these of people already taking the chip already. You know, if you go on YouTube and you type in chip, you know, mark of the beast, you'll see it. That's linking up with prophecy. But what's going to happen if you take that chip? This is what's going to happen if you take that chip. Revelations chapter 14, verse 19, verse 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worships the beast and his image, and receives his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine, shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. You know, so the Lord said, if you take that chip, you know, you're gonna perish. And how you gonna perish? By way of them thermonuclear missiles. That's how you will perish. You will perish by way of thermonuclear destruction. You know? That's how you're gonna. Jake just have no clue. Over here wheeling and popping wheelies up and down the street. No sense of direction whatsoever. This is why a lot of these Jakes are going to get destroyed in these last days, you know. Most High's going to end up having to destroy a lot of these Jakes. Because that's all they do is wheeling and popping wheelies up and down the street, you know. A lot of these people need to be destroyed. You know? While a lot of Jakes are going to get put to death in that day. Because these martial law troops, you know, these martial law troops, these Gurga troops, You know, these Marines, these special forces, you know, they're out here. You know, they're gonna come in and they're gonna start killing a lot of you jakes out here, and they're ready. You know, they can't wait. So this is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, verse 70. For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. They shall be like madmen, sparing not, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses, and then they shall be known who are my children, and they shall be tried as gold is tried in the fire. You know, because these Gerger troops, you know, these Marines, these special forces, you know, they're not gonna have no mercy. You know, they're not gonna have no mercy. They're just gonna come in and they're just gonna shoot and kill a lot of people, especially, yeah, exactly. Yeah, because it's only going to intensify, because, you know, because we're coming in that time. You know, you got those wildfires over there in California, over there in the West Coast.
You saw that? They showed us the news about California, like fire over here,
Yep.
all the cars, you know, like they were all burned down, burned down, and it looked like a movie, like one of those horror movies.
Oh yeah. Stuff. Yeah.
It's very scary.
Yeah.
You know? I'm afraid that's what's happening down here.
Yeah, but that's the day of the Lord, because that's a sign that the day of the Lord is coming, because one of the signs were that you're going to have these things taking place, especially with these fires.
Young people killing each other.
Yeah. Exactly. All right, bro. It says it right here. So this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 29, verse 6. Thou shalt be visited of the Lord of hosts with thunder and with earthquakes and great noise, with tempest, with storms of tempest, and the flames of devouring fire. You know, that's how the Most High is visiting this place. You know, you see all these storms, you know, these hurricanes that are just ripping, you know, homes apart. You know, these tornadoes, you know, these F5 tornadoes that are ripping, you know, homes apart, destroying homes. You know, all of this stuff. That's the Most High Yahweh Bashim Yahushua visiting this place. You know, those wildfires that's taking place in the West Coast. You know, that is just making the sky red, turning the sky red. You know, that's the Most High, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, visiting America. Because the Most High, he's bringing that fire. And ultimately, you know, he's definitely going to bring the fire with these chariots. When these chariots start to come through, you know, he's definitely going to start bringing those fires, you know, because you're going to have the chariots come from the sky to start shooting laser beams upon them on this place, you know, which is laser beams is nothing but concentrated fire, you know. You're going to have the chariots just zapping people, turning people into dust, into ashes, you know. You've seen a depiction of that in War of the World, War of the World, you know. You've seen these depictions of people getting blasted with these fires, you're getting tormented, you know. These are the things that you're seeing. These are the things that are taking place in the world, and they're only going to get intensified, and they're only intensifying because there's no escaping this judgment. There's no escaping the judgment that's about to come upon this place. And y'all people want to think it's a game, think it's funny, but y'all gonna be thinking again real soon. Because at the end of the day, you can still fake it. You know what I'm saying? You can still try to fake it and try to you know, when the lights go out, you know, because there is gonna be there's not gonna be no electricity in that day. You know, there ain't gonna be no electricity in that day. What's going on, brother? You know? Yeah. You know, but the main camp is over there in on yeah, the comments over there. You know what I mean?
I accepted the truth.
Yeah. Was he once in the crew?
Nah,
okay.
Started looking at things and I watched videos and stuff. It makes sense to me.
Yeah, yeah. But we're coming upon some very evil times that's coming, you know.
Yeah.
You see all the, you know, the wildfires over there in the West Coast, you know, the earthquakes and all of that, you know, the racial tension, you know, that race war, building up. Yep. Yeah. But our people, they still asleep. They still don't get it. They believe that this place is going to continue on forever, and that's why it's going to catch a lot of our people off guard, you know, because they still trust in this place. They still want to hold on to this place. You know, they don't want to get right with the Most High, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. You know, we're telling them while they still have time, but unfortunately, a lot of our people are going to get caught up in that destruction. Because they want to take heed to what the men of the Lord on the highways and byways are saying. Huh? Oh yeah.
Hey, explain the bloodline.
The bloodline? Yeah. The bloodline?
Our connection to the original Jews of that land.
The original Jews?
Yeah. What's the bloodline? Isaac, Jacob.
No, it's Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and from Jacob his 12 sons, which became the 12th patriarch of the nation of Israel. You know, so pretty much Jacob, what happened was Genesis the 49th chapter. You know, he had set his 12 sons down and told them where their characteristics and where would they be in the last days. You know, which is now. You know what I mean? So that's all written in Genesis the 49th chapter. All right now. You know what I'm saying? So that's the bloodline, you know. So it went from Abraham, Isaac to Jacob, and from Jacob his 12 sons. became the 12 patriarchs.
Judah's everything everybody came for America, right?
Huh?
Judah's everybody who was enslaved in America, right?
Judah, yeah. Well, it was, what happened was, because there was a split after King Solomon between Rehoboam and Jeroboam. You know, the prophet came on to, I believe it was King Solomon. What he did, he rented a remnant. So he rented it, and he gave, I think, 3 to Rehoboam, and the rest of the 10 to Jeroboam, saying that the kingdom would be split after King Solomon's death. So that's what happened. So that's when it became the northern kingdom, which is Judah represents the southern kingdom, which is Judah, Benjamin, Levi. That was the southern kingdom, and then it was split into 2. And the northern kingdom, which would be, you know, Simeon, Ephraim, Zebulun, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, and Issachar. You know, that they became the northern kingdom.
Issachar is the so-called Native Americans, right?
No, Issachar is the Mexicans.
The Mexicans. Okay,
Yeah,
the
the
Mexicans.
Mexicans. Yeah.
So which one's the Native Americans?
Gad.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Gad is going to be the North American nations.
Yeah,
They're the Gadites. Yeah.
slowly getting.
Yeah. Yeah, because one of the prophecies in Genesis, the 49th chapter, about Gad was, let me get it quickly.
I just ordered some Italian. That's a French is coming on the way.
Oh yeah. But yeah, so this is the prophecy about Gad in Genesis the 49th chapter. So Genesis chapter 49 verse 19, and it reads, Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last. So what happened to the Native, you know, the history with the Native Americans, how you had the cavalry that came over here and slaughtered Gad, you know, almost decimated Gad, you know what I mean? So that was the prophecy by the cavalry coming over here, you know, the pilgrims, the settlers coming over here and totally, you know, mowing down, killing Gad. At first they couldn't defeat Gad because Gad is warrior, you know. They're one of the warrior tribes. So they weren't defeating Gad at first. So that's why the so-called white man had to go get that Gatling gun. The Gatling guns, you know, and those disease warfare on Gad, you know what I'm saying, and kill off all the buffalo and starve them out.
Yeah.
So that's how the devil works, because they knew they couldn't fight muzzle to muzzle with Gad like that.
I got another question, right?
Yeah.
Now, this is all within the Bible. How can these pastors are not like, they only pick certain parts of a scripture just for their congregation and not being true and telling people the whole thing. They only pick and choose.
But you see, these pastors, they know who we are. They know who the real Israelites are. You know what I mean? But the thing is, they're in bed with the system. You know what I'm saying? Because you ever heard of the 501c3 tax fraud?
They give a certain amount of money.
Yeah, they don't have to pay. They're tax exempt pretty much.
Yeah.
So whatever money they're receiving, they can keep all that money. But under one stipulation is that they can't teach the whole truth. They can't teach certain parts of the Bible. They only have to teach certain parts because they signed that 501c3 tax fraud with the government. So this is why they can't teach the whole truth. They can't teach that. You know what I mean? And this is what, and also the scriptures talk about these pastors too. Because it says this. Let me get this first scripture for you in Jeremiah. Because that's what they're doing. They're scattering the sheep. They're leading the sheep to the slaughter.
Are you from Boston?
Yeah, I'm from around the area. Yeah.
So y'all have a place y'all go?
Nah, we just come out on the streets. You know, yeah, we just come out here and just prophesy. So this is what it says about these pastors. This is Jeremiah chapter 12 verse 10, and it reads, Many pastors have destroyed my vineyard, which is the vineyard. The vineyard is the nation of Israel. You know, these people right here. 'Cause it's mainly our people that are up in these churches. You know what I mean? So, let me read it again. Jeremiah chapter 12, verse 10. Many pastors have destroyed my vineyard. They have trodden my portion under their foot. They have made my pleasant portion a desolate wilderness. You know, so they're really just destroying the sheep. You know, and this is what the Lord is going to do to these pastors in these churches. And this is Jeremiah chapter 23, verse 1. Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pastures, saith the Lord. And that word woe means destruction, you know, unto these pastors. You know. So a lot of these pastors, they're gonna get put to death in these last days, you know, because they're not telling the truth. You know, they're just serving their own belly, you know.
I never was into the church, man. I just didn't believe that nonsense going in there with them. They riding the Benz and being here asking for things. I never did. My mother never believed in that. But at the same time, why aren't the people within that congregation or whatever? Why ain't they reading past what the pastor's telling them if they're so? All
right, bro. All right now. Yep. Yeah, brother.
If they're so religious, going to the church faithfully, it seems to me that they're not really reading nothing other than what that pastor tells you. So I never understood that. Like if you believe in something, you're going and getting, you know, the word or whatever, education on something. Why wouldn't you read the whole book and understand it for yourself? And then have questions for the pastor when you come in. I never understood that.
Yeah, because most of our people, even though they still have the zeal of the Most High, but they don't have the knowledge. You know what I mean? Because when we try to tell them the knowledge, because like it says in Hosea chapter 4, verse 6, that my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. And though we even try to tell them the knowledge, because I'm sure these Christians, they watch us, and they want to say, oh, we're a hate group,